Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a review on these two products here. So the first is the L'Oreal Nude Magique Cushion Foundation and the second is the L'Oreal Glam Bronze Cushion de Soleil. So I bought both of these products a couple of weeks back and originally I was going to do a first impression where I hadn't tried them yet, but I thought I would try them out and give them a review first, and it's a really good job that I did actually, because my skin is having a massive hissy fit. So basically around a week ago I went to a skincare and makeup conference because I work for Superdrug, and I was given a pot of the Olay Night Moisturiser. In that day I tried on the back of my hand their day moisturiser, which has got an SPF of 30, and so when I got home I wanted to start using the night cream straight away, and that is exactly what I did. And by doing that I found out that I'm actually allergic to some of the ingredients in Olay products. And I don't know whether you can see it on camera, but I do have slightly red cheeks and my skin texture is very uneven and it feels very dry. So yes, it was a good job that I tried out these products before today, because otherwise it wouldn't be like an accurate review of how the foundation actually felt and looked and that kind of thing. So this is the Nude Magique foundation. It's got gorgeous packaging. It's like a purple metallic lid, and then if you open it up there is a mirror in the top. And then here you have your little powder puff. And then if you open this section up, underneath here is where the foundation sponge is. The only downside that I find to this packaging is the shade number on here. The only place that said the shade number was a small like sticky tab that stopped people from opening the foundation, if you know what I mean. And on there it just had the little shade number. So once you take that off and get into the foundation, if someone were to pick this up now, you'd have no idea what shade it was. So that is a slight downside, obviously, but this is in the shade number 6. On the L'Oreal Paris website, it says that it has a fresh nude finish, which I really do agree with. It is very nude, very natural, and very lightweight. It has custom coverage, so you can tap really lightly if you want a light coverage, and it is very buildable. I do agree with that. It also has an SPF of 25 in it, so you know if you like foundations that have an SPF in it, this is good. I probably wouldn't solely rely on your foundation for your SPF of the day because your foundation does wear off, and it also is available in 7 shades. Now the only problem is I'm not too sure how diverse the 7 shades are. This is in shade 6, it is the 4th shade in, the shade 1, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9 and I believe 11. And from what I can kind of tell, the shades are quite similar. I started off with a shade 3, which was quite light for my skin tone. I'm not exactly tan, but shade 3 was quite light. So if you are porcelain, then these foundations do cater for you. But my mum actually really liked this foundation as well, so I gave her my shade 3 foundation because I'd only used it once, and then I bought myself the shade 6. So it is a liquid foundation just in a sponge, and I do find that it is very liquidy and quite tacky. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to pop my hair out of the way with my Minnie Mouse ears. I'm not a headband kind of girl, so these are the only things I have lying around that can keep my hair out of my face. Usually I don't have this problem with other foundations. I don't find that my hair sticks to my face, but with this one a little stray hair always gets caught across my face. Now again, usually when I do a review or a first impression of a foundation, I would always do half a face of primer and then half not, and tell you guys the difference, like how it applies with and without primer. But today I'm actually going to do it slightly differently, and I'm actually going to show you 2 different application techniques, I guess. So one half of my face I'm going to apply it with a sponge, and the other half I'm going to apply it with a brush. As I said before, it does come with this little sponge puff, but I don't really like the feel of it and I don't like things like this. If you like dry sponges and that kind of thing to apply your foundation, then go ahead and use this, but it's just not really my kind of thing. So I'm going to start out with the left hand side of my face first, and I'm going to use the Real Techniques buffing brush. This is one of my favourite foundation brushes, so I'm just going to take kind of like 3 taps to start off with and start tapping that in across my cheek. So as you can see so far, just from tapping it in that small area, it does have a really sheer coverage. But again, like I said earlier, the great thing about this foundation is it is very buildable. It doesn't kind of get cakey or cloggy or settle into pores and fine lines and that kind of thing, which I think is really great. I haven't got a formula in another foundation that is this buildable. So I'm just going to keep stippling that across my cheek until I find the coverage that I like. Okay, so that is this half of my face covered with the buffing brush. As you can see from this side that's not covered yet, there's not actually too much difference. I hope you can see that on camera. Again, like I said, it is just like your skin, but better. So moving on to the right hand side of my face, I've got the Real Techniques Miracle Complexion Sponge. And I'm going to take the large surface side and just dab that into the cushion. And then again start bouncing that up and down onto my skin. I personally find that this foundation does work a lot better being stippled onto the skin rather than being kind of swiped and wiped. If you like that kind of application, then go for it, but I just find that it works best on my sort of dry to normal skin being stippled. And then we have the other half applied as well. So the differences between these two application techniques, probably not that visibly different, but they do feel different. I find the sponge applies a lot more product a lot more quickly, so if you are in a rush in the morning and you like to just kind of dab something all across your face really quick, the sponge is probably the way to go for you. It's very easy, convenient. The brush applies less product in a smaller area, so it does take you a lot longer to build it up, but I find that for me, this is a lot more about custom coverage, and you can build it up in smaller areas where you do need a bit extra, and less in the other areas where you just want a really, really sheer coverage. If you have drier skin, you might prefer the wet sponge, because it does feel a lot more dewy and glowy and light on the skin, or if you've got sort of maybe combination, maybe oily skin, you might prefer the brush. I think if you have oily skin and you really want to use this product, definitely wear a primer underneath and maybe mattify after with a powder. Another thing I really like about this foundation is that it works really well with a powder over top. It doesn't completely mattify, it still lets that glow shine through, which for me is really perfect. Moving on to the Glam Bronze, again it's got very similar packaging, other than the colour is like a bronze goldy colour. The packaging on the inside is exactly the same, but this only comes in one shade. I still find this though, no matter how much you build it up, it is still on the lighter side, so I don't know how well it would fare for darker skin tones. But if you do have fairer to kind of medium skin tone, this might be really nice for you. And like the foundation, it does have a very dewy, sun-kissed finish to it. You do get the little puff once again in it, but I'm not going to use that, and I'm going to go back to my Real Techniques sponge. I have tried using both a brush and a sponge, but I prefer a sponge because you can bounce it and work it into the skin, whereas I find a brush, if you start to work it in, it does start to move the foundation underneath. So for me, a sponge is the way to go with this one, and I like to use the pointed end of the Miracle Complexion sponge. Just take a couple of taps in there, and then start to stipple it along where I would normally like bronze or contour. It's very easy to blend. Once you tap it on, it just blends out really, really flawlessly. So there we go, I've just done the left half of my face there, and you can see a kind of like dewy, sun-kissed glow towards the back of my cheeks. I'd probably say that's like 2 coats, I guess. And it's still very natural looking, like I said, very easy to blend out and very easy to build up. Again, like I said, it doesn't go cakey. It doesn't look like I'm wearing, 3 or 4 layers of foundation and bronzer on top of each other, and it just kind of like melts into the skin really nicely. So I'm just going to go ahead and do the same on the opposite side of my face. And there we have it. So that is the Glam Bronze applied to both sides of my face. I just think it gives a really, really nice glow, blends amazingly, it's fantastic. So yeah, overall I really love the finish of this foundation. Especially if you've got sort of dry to normal skin, you are going to love this foundation. If you like the L'Oreal, the Magique, just the pump liquid foundation, you are going to love this. So yeah, if you're looking for a really nice sheer but buildable foundation, something with a bit of glow that's going to last you through kind of all different seasons, this is a really, really good one to go for. It is quite pricey for a drugstore foundation. I think it's around like $14.99. So yeah, it is a slightly higher price, but I would definitely recommend it. I think it's really worth it. And the same for the bronzer as well. So yeah, with the bronzer, if you like a kind of dewy, all around, just like nice luminous glow, this is definitely for you. So yeah, I just think they are absolutely fantastic products. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up. It really helps me out. And of course, please subscribe to my channel as well if you want to see more from me. I will leave a clickable link up here that will take you to my channel page. Or of course, you can just click that big red button down below. And I will see you guys in my next video. Bye guys!